panels more and more efficient. We are not only talking about hybrid of the sun and the wind, we're also talking about hybrid of the solar light, solar heat, and solar pumped storages. We are talking about 3D printing of panels, bifacials, PV panels that work at night. Given this background, we are sure that post-COVID, investment in the solar sector globally will bounce back. It's a day of pride for all of us. And we start today with our silent condolences for the COVID patients globally. And as you know, ISA is a very young and innovative organization. You all created ISA because you wanted a new and dynamic international organization with a mandate to assist member countries, not by only holding workshops, conferences, and publishing reports, but through innovation, experimentation, and a resolve to dream big, dare and innovate without fear to fail. Our constitutional fathers, always the Assembly, have given us the guidance and the constitutional mandate to aim at the mission of promoting investment of more than 1,000 billion US dollars in our member countries by 2030 by reducing the cost of technology and cost of capital. Article 3 in the ISA Framework Agreement, unlike any other international treaty, mandates the members to accept to implement our 6 programs through national focal points and country representatives that include simple, measurable, mobilizing targets with the guidance and assistance of the Secretariat. ISA has to usher in a solar revolution, a world entirely powered by the sun, announced by the Honorable Prime Minister Modi and the Honorable President Macron during the founding ceremony held in March 2018. The two interesting ideas, one sun, one world, one grid, and ISA is the solar OPEC of the future. The first is a green necklace of multiple bits around the globe, representing and connecting all rich spots of renewable energy from solar and solar derivatives. The second idea is futuristic. ISA is a global agency regulates generation, transmission, and supply of solar energy when the world is entirely powered by the sun and the sun alone. By looking forward to the next assembly in October 2020, ladies and gentlemen, our plan is to recruit 16 officers globally and to give the Secretariat a new face with the help of UNDP. By that time, 2 audits by Deloitte will be over. Internal audit is in place. Assembly has approved voluntary contributions from willing member countries. Enterprise resource planning will be in place before this year end. Our program and projects are making good headway thanks to the guidance we received from the President, the Co-President, and our Vice Presidents. India has put in 2 billion USD for solar projects. France has put in 1 billion euros as soft loan. More member countries will follow. World Bank has come up with SMI. We also plan to second virtual MDB mission to the ISA to develop a financial roadmap to promote investments, create employment, and address environmental issues in our member countries. Initiatives like Lome Initiative are showing the way how our member countries can come together and create common markets at a regional plane. We are sailing so far with all your support and blessings. Your Excellencies, we are ready to fly. With all your help, we are now poised for approaching financial institutions and countries for program finance of up to 100 million USD spread over 3 years. And we are not alone in this enterprise. We have got help from the President, from the Co-President, from the Vice Presidents, from the members, as well as 40 global partners to help us in this effort to see a smooth global energy transition and a world without energy poverty. As the President keeps on telling, every home, no matter how far away it is, must have reliable, affordable, and green energy at home. We have got aggregation of demand as a key area and have applied the same to water pumps to help farmers and solarize diesel pumps in 22 member countries. In phase 1, as presented to the NDP group of ministers in Brazil, floating a price discovery tender for 47 million home power systems by EESL is a small step in this major direction. All the activities listed today for green flagging by all of you is a humble step of the Secretariat in this direction to serve our member countries. We will expand our future activities as a facilitator as well as an accelerator. The 8 initiatives listed today, plus one that we plan for the future called Solinar, it's a new word of ISA for webinar, are all in the service of our members who need it the most. The guidance of the President and the Co-President have been exemplary in several fronts. Particularly, the President is the brain behind to raise two initiatives, a PPA-based solar project of 20,000 megawatt, an aggregation-based home lighting system based on RESCO model to reduce cost in the pattern of LED revolution in India. We now plan to rope in corporations from many member countries, such as SECI, EESL, NTPC, to assist our member countries on their request for affordable energy. I will leave it to the Honorable President to thank them, under whose guidance they have volunteered to partner with us. I also thank France for her guidance in future resource mobilization and in taking Star C to a different orbit with the help of UNIDO. As usual, I also express our thanks to and gratitude to the host country for their corpus and other contributions and handholding ISA as it grows up to stand up on its own. We are also grateful to France, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, EU, Climate Works, AFD, and a host of other organizations such as UNDP and UNESCAP and UNIDO, etc., for their help in cash and kind, and to the UN and its agencies in general. Thank you all for the time and your presence. I welcome you once again for this major event of ours. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Excellencies, high-level dignitaries present in this room, we are happy to announce that Honorable Minister of State, Independent Charge for Power and New and Renewable Energy, Minister of State in the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and President of the ISA Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Raj Kumar Singh has joined us now. Thank you for joining us, sir. I would like to now request, like to request all the dignitaries present here to observe 1 minute silence as an offering to the condolences to COVID-19 victims, please. We will observe 1 minute silence starting from now. Thank you, everyone. Taking the program forward, I would now request Dr. Arun Tripathi, Director General, National Institute for Solar Energy, to kindly address the August gathering, please. Over to DG NISE, please. Over to Director General, National Institute of Solar Energy, please.
Thank you very much for giving me opportunity for addressing the August gathering. The NISE has been a partner institution with ISA in conducting various activities. I would like to mention that a few of them are some international training program, and we have started the a master level course at IIT Delhi, and we are also planning to have the technicians level courses, that is Surya Mitra, for the technicians of the ISM member countries. Over that, every year about 5 technical training programs we are organizing for ISM member countries, the government, with the completely funding from the Government of India, Ministry of External Affairs, and NISE has always been a partner and a supporting institution for the ISA. And in future also, we propose to conduct not only the trainings, but also in developing the national solar mission kind of program and strategy in different ISA member countries. So NISE is always in a supporting mode for ISA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now request Mr. Saurabh Kumar, Managing Director, Energy Efficiency Services Limited, to please address the gathering on the initiative on the launch of solar home systems for ISA member countries. Over to MD EESL, please.
Thank you very much. Honorable Union Minister of Power and New and Renewable Energy and President of ISA Assembly, Excellencies, Senior Officers from India and member countries, It's a proud privilege for EESL to be associated with this, with ISA's various programs. Sir, I would like to mention that we did a very complex procurement and price discovery for solar water pumps. It was spread over 24 member countries and lots of different kinds of models, which included freight. I'm happy to report, sir, that we have been able to successfully complete this exercise and pass it over to ISA. The price discovery has resulted, the aggregation has resulted in reduction of cost by 30%. And we are very honored that the Honorable Union Minister appreciated the whole exercise. So in this whole thing, we are also committed to work with ISA for the home lighting systems. We would plan to issue the RFP by the 10th of May. And our plan is that we will complete the entire tendering process within 3 months from that time. In a solar water pump system, we did the entire thing in 4 months, but we want to reduce this time so that we are able to provide the member countries and ISA the highest level of service with high quality. And I would like to thank ISA and the Honorable Union Minister for giving us this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now request Mr. K. Shrikant, Chairman and Managing Director, Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, to address the gathering and speak on the commitment to develop grid integration strategies for up to 20,000 megawatt solar power to be developed by Solar Energy Corporation of India and National Thermal Power Corporation Limited in ISA member countries based on request of the member countries. PGCIL is one of the ISA's esteemed corporate partners. MD PGCIL.
Good afternoon, respected Shri R.K. Singh ji, Honorable Minister of State for Power and New Renewable Energy and President of the ISA Assembly, distinguished dignitaries. I am delighted to represent Power Grid in the green flagging of the International Solar Alliance activities today. In the ongoing journey of energy transition, ISA is playing an important role in increasing the use of solar energy for greater energy security and sustainability in the Sunbelt countries. Power Grid, which is one of the largest transmission utilities in the world, is happy to associate with ISA as a corporate partner and participate in its initiatives to promote sustainable development. Power Grid has undertaken several initiatives to promote renewable energy sources in the country. These include transmission planning and evolving strategies for grid integration of renewable generation, constructing the green energy corridor from Bhuj in Gujarat to Moga in Punjab, traversing Rajasthan to integrate the renewable energy sources in the western and northwestern parts of the country with the national grid, development of evacuation system for 7 solar parks of 6,450 megawatt in 5 states, establishing renewable energy management centers consisting of SCADA system and AI-based forecasting technologies, installation of 6 megawatt peak rooftop solar PV at various power grid installations, capacity building and renewable integration for utility professionals. We are privileged to commit to assist along with ISA for development of strategies for grid integration of solar power parks envisaged in ISA member countries, especially in Africa, Asia Pacific and LAC region. I, on behalf of Power Grid, handing over our statement of intent to President of ISA as the most important event. I am confident that our cooperation with ISA will go a long way to reach out to the ISA member countries in their efforts to scale up solar energy capacity. Thank you. Sir, I would now like to hand over this commitment of Power Grid to you, to the Honorable Minister and President of the ISA Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now request Mr. Gurdeep Singh, Chairman and Managing Director, National Thermal Power Corporation, India, one of the ISA's prestigious corporate partners, to address the gathering and kindly speak on declaration of commitment to develop 10,000 megawatt of PPA-based solar parks in ISA member countries in partnership with ISA in Africa, Asia, and Latin America and Caribbean regions based on request from member countries. Over to CMD NTPC, please.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister and President of ISA Assembly, Excellencies, dignitaries, and distinguished participants. It is my privilege to participate here and extend all the help to the ISA countries in developing and assisting the solar parks and the power plants. Sir, we had been one of the catalysts for bringing the solar power in India. We had been associated with the program since beginning over a decade, and we had been involved in setting up the plants on our own and helping the different agencies to develop the plants and helping them to just go forward in their growth trajectory. And similarly, we will be happy to associate with all the ISA countries in the similar endeavor with the help of ISA and the respective countries. At this juncture, I would like to mention that some time back we had been selected as a project management consultants through ISA, and I'm happy to share here that within a short span of time, with the constraints of the COVID, we had been able to prepare the pre-feasibility report of 335 megawatt in Togolese Republic. Incidentally, Togolese Republic is today celebrating its Independence Day. So let me wish all the best on this day to them. And going forward, we will be participating with ISA, and we will be helping them to install the solar parks and the solar plants which are PPA based in all the countries which are members of the ISA on their request. Now I would like to present the certificate in this regard. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gurdeep, and thank you, Srikanth. Thanks both to NTPC and the PGCIL. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I would now request Mr. Jitendra Nath Swain, Chairman and Managing Director, Solar Energy Corporation of India, one of the revered corporate partners of the International Solar Alliance, to address the gathering and speak on declaration of commitment to develop solar parks on PPA basis in ISA member countries in Africa, Asia, and LAC regions, based on request of member countries in partnership with ISA. Over to CMD SECI, please.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister of Power and RE and President ISA Assembly, His Excellency the Director General Mr. Tripathi, His Excellencies and the distinguished guests, my greetings to all of you. At the outset, I am very thankful to ISA for giving my organization a platform today, and I would like to congratulate the ISA team for organizing such an event at a very challenging time. It is heartening to note that today the President of ISA, Honorable Minister, is flagging to various initiatives of ISA, which will be very, very helpful and very, very far-reaching for ISA as a whole and for the member countries. Solar Energy Corporation is a 100% owned by Government of India, and it is at the forefront of the solar program implementation in the country. As such, today we have a PPA of more than 32,000 megawatts of power purchase agreements. We are helping commissioning these projects. So far, about under our own report, 7,000 megawatts have been commissioned, and others are in the commissioning stage. We have a lot of experience in management, project management, and consultancy. We are also very, very experienced in conducting auctions and developing the project in the PPP model. We had a very good team, which we will be proud of, and the company's reports have been instrumental in bringing down the solar tariff to the level of 3.5 cents per kilowatt hour in this country, and it is continuing. At this juncture, we'll be it is our proud privilege to be associated with ISA, to lend our services, to cooperate with them, to help those member countries who wish to avail of our services to develop solar parks and solar capacities in their own countries. We will be very grateful for these opportunities, and we will put our best best foot forward to develop those capacities. We understand that the solar energy is the future, and with solar energy, with universal energy access and lowering of the energy prices, there will be the socio-economic development across the globe will be much more equal and much more socializing. And it is our with gratitude we accept this challenge, and we will like to partner with ISA. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I would now request Mr. Dinesh Patnaik, Director General, Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR, to please address the August gathering. Mr. Patnaik would be speaking on ISA-ICCR partnership to promote capacity building globally. Over to DG ICCR, please. Over to DG ICCR, please.
Yes. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay. Good afternoon. The Indian Council for Cultural Relations is an autonomous body under the Ministry of External Affairs, whose mandate is to foster and strengthen cultural relations and mutual understanding with countries across the world. While we are essentially a cultural organization, we are delighted that the ISA is an initiative that is so critical for the future of our planet. An initiative which brings together the power of technology and the environment to ensure that the world grows in a sustainable manner. While there are many aspects to ISA's functioning, which is technology, innovative technology, finance, funding, etc., one of the most important aspects is capacity building, which is to have adequate manpower to ensure that the solar energy program actually reaches its destination. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We do 3,940 scholarships across the world in about 131 countries under 26 schemes. And these scholarships actually look at all aspects from engineering, business administration, finance, accounts, etc. And we are delighted to work with ISA to devise new courses and to train students and professionals from across the world to do programs in solar energy management, in business administration, in other things related to solar energy, which can help build up a cadre of people from across the world and create professionals who will work for taking forward solar energy in the world today. So with ISA, we are already working on creating these programs. We are talking with IIT Delhi and other institutes to ensure that there are programs which we can then offer to students across the world, especially to developing countries in Africa, in Asia, and other places. And we are hopeful that within the next 1 year, we will unleash a program of action which will actually reach up to 100 to 200 students annually, which can take advantage of the courses that we offer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We are grateful to have Mr. Vivek Divangan, Joint Secretary Power, with us today. Mr. Divangan will represent His Excellency Mr. Sanjeev Nandan Sahai, Secretary, Ministry of Power, Government of India. I request Mr. Divangan to please present keynote address on behalf of Secretary Power to the August gathering. Over to Joint Secretary Power, please.
Good afternoon. I am Vivek Divangan, Joint Secretary International Cooperation from Ministry of Power speaking. Good afternoon, Honorable Minister and distinguished dignitaries and all the participants. As you are aware that share of renewable energy we are taking to make flexible operation of thermal power plants feasible. In this regard, we have taken up some pilot project in coordination with Indo-German Energy Forum and with JCO. And we are trying to bring down our technical minimum capacity of thermal power plants from 55% to 40%. And we are 100% sure with the cooperation of all the agencies, including our Central Public Sector Undertaking, NTPC, and with the help of our international partners, we'll be able to achieve the target of achieving technical minimum up to 40% in near future. There is another important aspect, that integration of renewable energy into the grid. Our public sector undertaking, Power Grid, has taken up the initiative for setting up green energy corridor, and they also set up 11 regional energy management center. With the help of our agencies like Central Electricity Authority and Power System Operation Corporation, we are working in tandem to bring the integration of renewable energy a real success in India. And we hope that Ministry of Power will play its constructive role in making the goals of International Solar Alliance a real success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We are very privileged to have with us today His Excellency Mr. Anand Kumar, Secretary, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India. I would now request Mr. Kumar to present the keynote address to this August gathering, please. Over to Honorable Secretary, MNRE.
Honorable Minister for New and Renewable Energy, Power and Skill Development, Mr. Raj Kumar Singh, DG ISA, other esteemed guests, dignitaries present in this webinar. At the outset, I would like to congratulate ISA for launching a new ISA website and also green flagging 7 activities relating to capacity building, institutional development, and project implementation. The 2 central public sector undertakings under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, namely SECI, Solar Energy Corporation of India, and non-banking financial institution IREDA, would be very happy to associate with the ICA activities, and the ministry would be would endeavor to provide its all wholehearted support to ISA for its success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Secretary. We are honored to have with us today His Excellency Mr. P. Harish, Additional Secretary ER, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Mr. P. Harish is representing Honorable Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla, Secretary Foreign Affairs, Government of India. I would now request Mr. Harish to please present the keynote address on behalf of Foreign Secretary, Government of India, to this August gathering. Over to Additional Secretary ER, please.
Honorable Minister, sir, Mr. Secretary Anand Kumar of MNRE, Ambassador of France, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Foreign Secretary who had to attend another meeting, I would read out his address. Sir, we have gathered here at one of the toughest times in recent history of mankind, where the future is uncertain and the present is arrested. Sustainability and greener future is no more a testimonial commitment to a better future. It has become now the very core of how state should ensure the path to recovery. The ISA, as envisaged by Honorable Prime Minister of India and the then French President at the UN Climate Change Conference in Paris in November 2015, with a firm belief that the beneficence of the sun could be used to bring together the peoples of this planet for a shared solution to our energy needs. It's also proof that the desire behind this vision has always been to make solar energy accessible and affordable for the poor by addressing the various economic and technological factors that currently impede such access. Minister, sir, the Ministry of External Affairs and Indian missions and posts abroad have been sparing no efforts to ensure that the membership of ISA reaches its pinnacle in the shortest possible time. The global community has received the idea of a dedicated multilateral organization for solar energy with optimism. It is testified by the rapid growth of the membership of the organization to 86 signatory countries of the framework agreement of ISA, with 66 of these having also submitted the instrument of ratification. The ISA has signed partnership agreements with all major development financial institutions and multilateral development banks. It's also in the process of operationalizing its strategic partnership with the United Nations and its agencies. India's contribution to the ISA Corpus Fund, allocation of an amount of $62 million for the establishment of the ISA Secretariat, the provision of 500 training slots in solar energy under its ITEC program every year, and implementation of solar projects in ISA member countries are some of the fine examples of India being a great host to the ISA Secretariat. Today, we have also seen the new understanding reached between the ICCR and the ISA Secretariat in this regard. During the first General Assembly of ISA held in Delhi in October 2018, India had proposed the opening up of the membership of the ISA to all member countries of the UN from the originally decided group of 121 countries lying between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. It was done in view of the fact that ISA initiative should benefit the world at large and should not be restricted to a group of countries. The proposal was accepted by the ISA Assembly, and framework agreement of the ISA has now been modified accordingly. In view of the amendments that have now been incorporated into the framework agreement of ISA, membership of the alliance will be open to all member countries of the United Nations. The amended framework will come into force upon ratification by 2/3 or 30 of its member countries. As on date, the amendments have been ratified by 23 member countries. This initiative is a first step towards the alliance's objective of universalization of its membership. During the founding conference of the ISA held in March 2018, the Government of India announced its commitment to extend nearly $1.4 billion worth of lines of credit, which will cover 27 solar power projects in 15 countries. These projects will include setting up of solar PV power plants, mini grid and off-grid usage, irrigation, rural electrification, street lighting, solar power for urban infrastructure, including for health, hospitals, colleges, schools, government establishments, low-income families, etc. Every step in the progress of ISA is a step forward in the direction of faith. The presence of member country representatives here, ISA partner organizations, and other stakeholders shows the solidarity that we have for strengthening ISA and for our fight against climate change and energy poverty. I congratulate ISA in their effort to become a digitally ready organization by launching the new ISA website. This is a welcome step, more so in today's time of challenge, where all stakeholders in the solar energy sector across the globe would be relying on the digital medium to see clear information about the new developments happening in the ISA. It's a pleasure also to see ISA take strides in the right direction by launching important capacity building projects and activities. Successful program implementation depends upon how well the countries are prepared to sustain the projects. The three initiatives under the STAR-C project, the Solar PV Technician Skill Development Initiative for members of ISA, the capacity building for bankers under STAR-C, and the undergraduate program in renewable energy for SIDS and LDC member states would lead to skill development, creation of a pool of human resources at the ground level, and in bridging the gap, keeping in mind the techno-commercial and financial viability of solar energy projects in ISA member countries. I take this moment to congratulate the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy for their outstanding support and encouragement to the ISA. The National Institute of Solar Energy under the aegis of MNRE has enabled successful programs like Surya Mitra and will be providing opportunities for the ISA to develop and conduct training modules as per global standard, which is expected to unlock a much needed investment in the sector. I would like to congratulate the ICCR on providing financial assistance to ISA's undergraduate program, which holds immense promise in training technicians in the field of solar energy in the member countries. I wish the ISA best in its efforts to encourage all member countries, partner organizations, and manufacturers to avail themselves of the initiative to solarize the healthcare sector in their respective country through ISA Cares initiative. Also, it is heartening to see that CPSUs like the NTPC, the SECI, and the PGCIL have come forward and committed for the development of 10,000 megawatt of solar parks in each of the ISA member countries by 2022 under the Solar Park Scheme. India's commitment to the ISA is undeterred. I'm confident that these new initiatives would provide support to wide-ranging programs and activities of the ISA that are focused on applications ranging from small off-grid to utility-scale on-grid solar installations, in addition to logistical and capacity building support to solar energy programs of member countries. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are very privileged to have with us today His Excellency Mr. Emmanuel Duna, Ambassador of France to India. I would now request His Excellency Ambassador of France to please address the gathering. Over to His Excellency Ambassador of France.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister of State, Mr. Shri R.K. Singh, Secretary MNRE, Shri Anand Kumar, DG ISA, Shri Upendra Tripathi, and dear colleagues. Well, thank you very much for the invitation to this virtual meeting. This is a very eco-friendly way to work, and it's a pleasure to see you again, even though it's virtually. I hope you and your relatives are doing well in these very trying circumstances. The COVID-19 crisis we're going through is showing in a particular true and acute way the links between health and climate. Scientists have been warning us for long now that deforestation increases the risk of transmission of infectious disease from animals to humans. Scientists have also been telling us that emissions of atmospheric pollutants that cause climate change are responsible for many respiratory diseases. The COVID-19 and climate change have the same causes: unsustainable economic growth and profound transformation in our lifestyles. They have also certain similarities. They reveal the fragility of our societies and our unpreparedness. We must collectively draw lessons from this crisis to better prepare for the future and prevent a much bigger crisis from happening. That is the climate change crisis. And even though this crisis is far from over, we must not delay our efforts to fight climate change. We have to make sure that the recovery plans that we are preparing do not favor polluting industries, but instead support sustainable activities and, of course, in particular, clean and renewable, such as, of course, solar energy. I'm confident that India and France can and will show once again the way. That is, and that must be, a shared priority for all of us. I've noted that during this crisis, solar energy has proven to be very reliable. And in fact, the business case for solar power may even be stronger after the crisis, as investors will be looking for affordable and reliable energy. Another thing that the COVID-19 crisis has shown us is that we urgently need international collaboration through renewed multilateral cooperation. And the International Solar Alliance will serve this purpose best. I would like to thank today the ISA Secretariat, the Government for India, for organizing this event despite the current situation, and also for taking the initiative to launch new activities, particularly new training program under STAR-C, as well as a program to deploy solar home systems. ISA, as you know, can count on my country's full support. Just would like, before concluding, briefly mention 3 initiatives that my government is now working on with ISA. First, the capacity building program of STAR-C. As you know, a few weeks ago, France hosted an international workshop organized by ISA and UNIDO. This project is very important for disseminating the knowledge and know-how that will help countries build and maintain better solar projects. First roadmap will be presented very soon to the Standing Committee. Second initiative is a joint initiative of the French Development Agency and the World Bank, the Solar Risk Mitigation Initiative, SRMI, already supporting 4 national projects in Burkina Faso, Maldives, Uganda, and Zanzibar. As part of this initiative, France pledged $55 million to provide private investors with guarantees for small projects in sub-Saharan Africa through the Africa Trade Insurance Agency. Third initiative, a study on the opportunity of a regional framework to facilitate solar projects in 6 West African countries: Benin, Burkina Faso, Gabon, Mali, Niger, and Togo. This is called the Lomé Initiative, and it is in final phase. A roadmap for implementation will be submitted to the countries and partners by the end of May. In conclusion, I can assure you that all the relevant French actors are fully mobilized to support ISA objective where they can, and we have a lot of work to do together ahead of us. But we are keen and we are committed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Respected guests, Honorable President of the International Solar Alliance Assembly has kindly agreed to take out his precious time to launch 8 initiatives proposed by the International Solar Alliance Secretariat. To brief our esteemed guests, I would be reading very short information notes about each initiative, followed by a request to Honorable President of the International Solar Alliance Assembly to endorse them and kindly launch them. With your permission, I'm starting. First initiative being launched this evening is the Solar PV Technician Skill Development Initiative for ISA member countries under STARS. National Institute of Solar Energy will manage these trainings in collaboration with training partners along with Solar Energy Corporation of India and Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. The initiative is inspired by the Surya Mitra Skill Development Program by MNRE, where India has planned to create a solar skill force of 57,000 solar mechanics. With your permission, I'm moving on to the second initiative. Second initiative being launched today is Making Solar Bankable Initiative under STAR-C. This initiative will be managed by National Institute of Solar Energy in collaboration with Solar Energy Corporation of India and Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. The objective of this initiative is to enable banking and financial professionals to assess solar projects in their home countries by way of review of feasibility of the sites for solar installation, assess the techno-commercial feasibility and financial viability of setting up a solar PV plant. With your permission, I'm moving on to third initiative. Third initiative being launched today is undergraduate program for SIDS and LDC countries under STAR-C. I move on to the for under STAR-C. With continuous demand from small island countries, ISA's Secretariat proposes to have a 3-year undergraduate program in renewable energy as a part of its capacity building activities in solar energy for small island countries, SIDS, and least developed countries, LDCs. 30 officers will benefit from these countries. ISA is grateful to ICCR for having volunteered to give these slots to ISA. With your permission, I am moving to the fourth initiative. Fourth initiative being launched is the action plan for developing up to 20,000 megawatt of solar parks in member countries. Under the guidance of the Honorable President of the International Solar Alliance Assembly, ISA Secretariat plans to assist member countries under Article 3 based on their request to plan for 20,000 megawatt of solar parks in phase 1. The 6th program, approved by the Assembly of the ISA, is envisaged to facilitate the member countries to develop solar parks based on RESCO model. NTPC has been taken as an empaneled partner. SECI may soon join. With your permission, sir, I am moving on to the 5th initiative to be launched today. 5th initiative to be launched today is the launch of ISA advisory to manufacturers of ventilators on the use of solar kits. Under this program, the ISA Secretariat proposes to encourage manufacturing of ventilators along with solar power kit, sufficient to provide power to operate the functioning of ventilators 24/7 and also to retrofit solar kits with the already operational ventilators. 6th initiative to be launched today, with your permission, sir, is ISA Cares Initiative. As countries around the world battle COVID-19 crisis, the ISA plans to launch ISA Cares initiative with a primary objective of solarizing at least one primary healthcare center PHC per district per country in each of its least developed countries and small island developing states member countries. ISA shall mobilize necessary capital for this initiative through crowdfunding from individuals, corporates, foundations, and countries. With your permission, sir, I move on to the seventh initiative to be launched today. Seventh initiative to be launched today is initiating price exploratory global bid for providing energy access to 47 million households by solar home systems. Despite the concerted efforts by all stakeholders, the world will not be able to achieve SDG 7 in providing sustainable and affordable energy for all by 2030. ISA plan to launch this initiative of providing energy access to 47 million households that will remain without energy access despite all the efforts. EESL will conduct a price exploratory global bid for 47 million solar home systems for ISA member countries. With this, we move on to the eighth initiative to be launched today by Honorable President, the new ISA website. The website is developed by Edelman India, working closely with ISA Secretariat. Adhering to the global standards of design and technology, we have tried to create a modern digital platform that is easy to navigate and offers a robust content management system. I would now request Honorable President to please click on the link for ISA website and kindly launch it. Everyone can access the website on the ISA URL currently being reflected on the screen, please. My colleague from ISA is assisting Honorable President in launching the website currently. Thank you, sir. The slides are being shown currently to all the dignitaries. Thank you everyone for listening to the information notes. We now move on to the country interventions. I request Republic of Mali to make the intervention now.
Honorable Minister State and Chairman of the EC Second Assembly, distinguished participant. Last Saturday, the Minister of External Affairs of India had a long and useful telephone conversation with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Mali on the bilateral cooperation. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mali took this opportunity to reaffirm full commitment of Mali in the International Solar Alliance and express the gratitude of the government of Mali to the government of India for his strong support. Mali, as founder member of our young organization, will fully cooperate with the government of India and the Secretariat of International Solar Alliance. In this regard, Mali welcomes the effort of the Secretariat of International Solar Alliance and the partners to develop 500 megawatt solar park in my country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I now request Kingdom of Tonga to make an intervention, please. I would like to request Kingdom of Tonga to make the intervention, please. Moving on. I would now. Yes, thank you, sir. Kingdom of Tonga, please.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir. Kindly continue, please. I think there is a lag in the network. So I think there is a problem in the reception and the network is not proper. Moving ahead, I would now request Republic of Uganda to make an intervention, please.
Honorable Minister and the Director General of ISA, my colleague, the ambassadors were there. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Uganda is very happy to be associated with this launch of the ISA website. And first, I would like to thank all of you for having managed to survive the coronavirus and for being here in this webinar. This disease has not affected the spirit of the people in this planet. And I thank the way that ISA has demonstrated the resolve to fight on regardless of what is happening around us now. Now, Uganda appreciates very much the work that ISA has done so far in the country. I recall that we have one full week in my country where ISA was trying to come out with a collaboration framework with the government of Uganda on the three areas of solar pumps, mini grids, and light. And my government is now working on the final blueprint for this framework to be signed between us and ISA. That said, I would like to particularly focus on the area of irrigation and the 10,000 pumps that we have requested. Is it 10 or more than 10,000 pumps we have? As you know, this not only has implications on food security in the country, but has got implications on the economy of Uganda because the majority of our people are still relying on agriculture. And if they are food secure and can have this extra production in agriculture with which to get some income, then poverty levels in my country can come down. So when we are looking at ISA, it's not just a question of maybe conferences and matters and beauty. It is practical things like this. They're making of a difference that ISA applications can realize in my country. This is why we treasure this very, very much. There's another reason why we treasure this ISA, which is that my country is prone to, we have the best sunshine, I think, in the world. Excuse me boasting a little bit, but we do. And in fact, there are solar applications in Uganda. You don't even have to tilt the ISA frame. However, the problem, good as all this, the cost of many of these panels and other appliances which go with them is something that we work on, because overall, on time we want to help these African countries, or Uganda for that matter. It's a poor country, and the cost of acquiring this, including the solar pumps, can be prohibitive. So I just want us to bear that in mind as we move ahead. But overall, we are so happy as a country that there is an initiative like this, which helps us to fight poverty, which helps us to increase agriculture, which helps us also to fight climate change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I would now request Republic of Guyana to make an intervention, please.
Hello, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay.
First of all, it's good to be in touch with all the members of the ISA family once again. Like my colleagues before me have said, it's a pleasure for us all to be able to get together even at this difficult time. In terms of what we've been covering at this meeting, I must say that the new website is a very substantial improvement over the previous one. I remember one of my very first interventions in the ISA was talking about the previous website and how oddly it sat against the lofty ambitions of the ISA. I must say the new ISA website is much better. I was very happy to be able to drill down on it into the ISA countries and see Guyana and see some up-to-date reports about the things that are going on in Guyana. So I would like to compliment all involved for the new website, which is really quite good. I must say that at this time, the challenges that the COVID-19 virus outbreak has brought are many and have occurred in strange places. I'm sure we're all aware of the massive disruptions to the oil market that have been caused by the economic consequences of the virus, and they have had the result of bringing oil prices down to very low levels at a time when few of us expected anything like this. This represents a substantial challenge to the whole renewable energy agenda because we had just after many years got to the stage where solar energy and other renewable energies had become price competitive, cost competitive, economically competitive with oil. I'm sure the disruptions in the oil market are not yet over. I'm sure that prices may well spike up again as they have spiked down. But in a sense, the whole business of the benefits, economic benefits of the transition from a fossil-based fuel to renewable energy seem to be coming early. I think many of us thought the real crunch would come in 2040 or even later when the capabilities of renewable energy were much better. But in a sense, some of these challenges are right here, right now. And I'm sure that for solar energy to hold sway, the quality of the way that we implement solar energy systems will become crucial. And in that regard, I think the ISA's work, especially in capacity building, and all the programs we've heard about today and the sharing of skills will surely be very useful for us. But Mark, make no doubt about it, I think we are at a time of challenge for the solar energy industry. And as the eruptions of this virus have spread into the energy sector, we must be sure to put a good foot forward, and I'm sure the ISA will be a very suitable framework within that can be done. Finally, speaking from New Delhi, I must say that the lockdown has given us a chance to see what a clean, green environment can be because of all the lack of activity. In a sense, it's giving us a glimpse of what renewable energy can bring for the world as part of its own improvements of our environment and the atmosphere and our contribution to climate change. I'm hoping that will inspire many of us, as it has inspired me, to work even more effectively to ensure that solar energy and renewable energies take their rightful place in the post-COVID-19 world. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the ISA once again for this meeting.
Thank you, Your Excellency. The connection to Kingdom of Tonga is resumed. May I please request Kingdom of Tonga to make an intervention, please?
Good afternoon. Are you able to listen to me? Hello? Are you able to? Hello?
Yes, sir, we are able to hear you, sir. Please continue.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, President of the ISA Assembly and Minister Independent Charge, Ministry of Power and New and Renewable Energy, Mr. Upen Tripathi, Director General, ISA, the corporate partners of today's event, and distinguished guests. Well, first of all, I'd like to bring the greetings of Minister, Mr. Pwasitai, in charge of Energy, Ministry of, and from Tonga for this important event. I would like to thank ISA for and congratulate the International Solar Alliance on the launch of this need-based activities our special thanks for starting the proposed undergraduate program for in renewable energy for small island countries and least developed countries. This was really needed and timely. Now, timely assistance to these small solar application entrepreneurs is essential, and it's a good program that ISA is starting for bankers, because this is one of the potent inputs for setting up any activity, and training for bankers is a very welcome move. We have found ISA to be responding to be a need-based and institution which gives prompt assistance. The other training programs which have been provided by ISA have been found to be very useful, and we look forward to this, especially in this time of COVID-19, which has caused unprecedented situation. These activities are really needed, and we look forward to ISA for providing us this prompt assistance, because time is of essence for setting up these industries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I would now request Honorable Minister of State, Independent Charge, Power and New and Renewable Energy, Minister of State in the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, President of the ISA Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Raj Kumar Singh, to please give the presidential address. Honorable President, please.
Let me welcome you all to this virtual meeting. The world is passing through an unprecedented crisis, the like of which has not been seen in human history, or at least not recorded. Our heart goes out to all those families who have been affected by this crisis. But we shall overcome. Humanity shall overcome. And we have overcome many crises. We'll overcome this crisis as well. Together, that is how we shall welcome this. I would like to congratulate the Director General of the International Solar Alliance and the Secretary of the International Solar Alliance for coming out with these initiatives. Now, each of these initiatives are actually very meaningful and very important, that we can say from our experience. One thing about renewable energy, especially solar, what we have found is that this has helped us to reach every house in our country. And our country is a huge country with a huge population. And we have a very variegated terrain, very difficult terrain in some parts of the country. Steep hills, very high hills, rarefied atmosphere, deserts, we have everything. And we have population on high hills or in the desert. And we have managed to connect every house and bring electricity to every house. That is thanks to renewable energy and especially solar. What solar has done is that it has enabled us to reach every house without the necessity of constructing a grid to every corner. Because of the distributed nature of solar, you can set up small generating plants to serve different villages. Now, some of these things you can set up rooftops. Now, some of these things are trying, the ISA, IC is trying to initiate in all the member countries. The technician, the skill development initiative under the Star Seed program for solar PV technician is something which we have done. We have been training technicians for the past some years, and we maintain a database of all those technicians, so that any family anywhere, if it requires any service, any technician to attend to its solar installation, they just need to look up the database on the mobile and call the nearest technician. So that is something which ultimately the ISA is aiming at, and I believe that that's a great initiative which the ISA is doing. The capacity building for bankers. Now, this I believe also is very, very important for spreading the renewable energy capacity, because ultimately it is the bankers who finance it. The bankers here have understood that what renewable energy is, how it is structured, how it is financed, and they are comfortable lending. Now, what this will do is, this will enable the International Solar Alliance to orient the banks in your countries, in the ISA member countries, so that they can lend for renewable energy projects. And today, believe you me, we have found that renewable energy is in fact the most attractive investment. And we have almost every fund, every pension fund in the world, coming and lending to renewable energy projects. Now that can happen in your countries as well. So this is an important step for that. So I congratulate the ISA for drawing this up. And of course, I would like to thank the Director General, Mr. Patnaik, of the Indian Council of Cultural Relations, for extending support to the ISA and partnering with the ISA for starting an undergraduate program in renewable energy, especially solar, for all the, wherein all the students from all the member countries can come and study and specialize in renewable energy and specialize in solar. This is a great help. Mr. Patnaik, I want to thank you on behalf of the ISA and all the member countries. And this will be actually something which will enable the establishment of capacity in all the major countries. Similarly, the fact that these huge companies like the National Thermal Power or NTPC or the PGCIL or the Solar Energy Corporation of India are coming together under the umbrella of the ISA to share their experience, and with the challenge of setting up at least 20,000 megawatts in all the member countries, in different member countries by June or December 22, is it? December 22 is very heartening. This means that the ISA has become stronger. They have these partner organizations who can share their experience. Now, each of these organizations have partnered India in setting up the huge capacity which we have set up. For example, we have set up 87,000 megawatts of renewable energy capacity, and 34,000 megawatts is under installation. So 20,000 megawatts by December 2022 is not a huge target. They will help, their officers will help the member countries to draw up or to structure the projects. And when we set up these projects, when we set up 87,000 megawatts, there was no investment from the government side. All the investment was made by investors. And we just buy the power. We sign agreements with them for buying power for 25 years. And whosoever bids the lowest, we sign the agreement with him for setting up the solar energy part and generating power, and we just buy the power. So the capital investment comes from the investor, from the developer, not from the government. And that is something which can be replicated in every country, because we have seen it happening. All that is required is that we make available the land and the connectivity. And for connectivity, the PGCIL is there. So the mission is to be able to help all the countries enjoy the same benefits which we have enjoyed. And so, to share with them our experience as to how we are doing. And I think 20,000, Mr. Tripathi and the ISA, I would like to say that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Because until and unless the International Solar Alliance does something like 200,000 or 300,000 megawatts of solar, I mean, you would not have made an impact. So your vision, I think, in let's say 7 years or whatever, should be 200,000 megawatts of solar capacity. Now, do I see the ISA, Mr. Tripathi, do I see the ISA taking up the challenge of establishing 300,000 megawatts of solar energy capacity in the member countries? So let that be a challenge and let that be an objective. Then the ISA advisory on ventilators, and the ISA Cares initiative. Ultimately, I think this will need to expand. This is also a great initiative. This will need to expand to the solarization of every health center, whether it is a hospital or a referral center or a primary health center. Ultimately, that should be our target, and it is possible. What we have done, the initiative. So what I would like to club this with is the initiative to have 47 million, to solarize 47 million homes. Now, this solarization of 47 million homes will be divided into two parts. One part is that those who are in the middle income bracket, they can set up solar panels on their rooftop. They can meet half of part of the cost. The part of the cost can be given as loan. So, that will suit the middle income, middle income family. But as far as the poor families are concerned, they'll not be able to afford this. So, what will be useful for the poor families is capacity being set up in the RESCO mode, which means that for a village, you set up a small generating plant, solar generating plant on the outskirts of the village. And the developer supplies power to every home. And the householder, homeowner, pays for the power which he consumes. He does not have the money to make the capital investment. That capital investment is made by the developer, by the investor. And the householder pays for the power which he consumes. Now that is called the RESCO mode. That is what we have tried out in some parts of our country, and it's working very well. And I believe that that is again something which can help the poor to access electricity at a reasonable rate. So this 47 million homes, they can be provided with energy in the combination of these three methodologies. One is large solar parks, which will supply power through the grid to the network. The other is distributed solar generation for villages, so that you generate power for a village and then connect every house in that village and charge from the householder the money for the units he consumes. That's the second method. And the third is rooftop. So it's a combination of all three which will bring the light to every house. Now that is our vision. And with your help, with your cooperation, with our partnership, I think we should be able to do that. Our challenge should be and is to bring the light to every home. Let us take up this challenge together so that our children, our grandchildren can study in electricity, and so that they can study even when the sun goes down. Let that be our challenge. And with a partnership like ours, I think we can meet that challenge. We can meet that vision. Now I want to congratulate all of us together that the International Solar Alliance is becoming stronger every day and is now in a position to take up more and more programs. We will together make it strong. Thank you very much. Thank
you. Thank you, Your Excellency. I now request Mr. Anand Rao, Director, HRD and Coordination, International Solar Alliance, to please present the vote of thanks. Over to Anand Rao, sir.
Thank you. On behalf of the International Solar Alliance, we are extremely thankful to the Honorable Minister of State for Power and New and Renewable Energy and the President of the ISA Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Raj Kumar Singh, for taking out his precious time for green flagging of ISA initiatives today. I also thank His Excellency the Ambassador of France for his presence. I extend our thanks to their Excellencies, the ambassadors and the dignitaries for joining us today. I also express our sincere thanks to the Excellencies, Secretaries, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Ministry of Power, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Government of India, and all the heads of organization, NTPC, SECI, Power Grid, EESL, Director General of ICCR and Director General of NISE. I must thank all the participants who joined us in the launch of ISA initiatives today. This presence has been invaluable and without any doubt has helped us make this event a great success. Once again, thank you all very much and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Rao sir. With this, we conclude today's event. Thank you for joining us. It was a privilege.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Thank you.